Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi guys, welcome to episode 188 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. It's a little rainy here today. I have to admit I kind of love it, but probably only because we've enjoyed so much sunshine that the contrast is sort of nice. It always makes me feel introspective when it's cloudy for some reason. Anyway, I'm dedicating this episode today to my little sister Molly. She's been knocking it out of the park lately and really stepping up her game in life. I'm so proud of her. Especially, I'm proud of her warrior spirit. So I thought it was appropriate to dedicate this warrior episode to her. So many of us, and I include me, of course, always, we sometimes hang out in our heads so much that we create this worry and anxiety over things that probably will never happen. But because someone on the news or someone on social media is freaking out over it, we think we should too. Now, my goal is always to make us better. And the more I notice the thoughts in my head, the more I realize how damaging they can really be. Now, I just talked Monday in my episode about the text that my older sister sent me about the pool. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen. But anyway, I got another text from my older sister this week. Now, this time it was a video. It's a video of my sweet little nephew that I don't get to see anymore. And he was just talking away, not realizing he was being recorded. But it was so sweet. And at first my heart was broken because I miss him. And that kind of made it worse. But then I thought, you know what? He seems happy. He seems just fine. What more could I want? Of course, I want to be able to see him, and that makes me sad. But I'm choosing the path that I'm on, and I could see him as much as I wanted to if I would only upend my life and go back to the religion that part of my family's in. But that would make me sadder than I can ever imagine, because now I've lost myself in everything I believe in. I'm not going to do that, and you shouldn't either. And some of you might be thinking, that doesn't seem fair though. You shouldn't have to choose. But you know what? I bet there are things going on that are hard in your life right now too. And they probably don't seem fair either. But you get to control what they mean to you. If you have a situation that's out of your control and it's making you miserable, flip it on its head. I mean, one of the hardest things as a human is feeling like you're not in control of a situation. But that is what your primitive brain wants you to feel, so that you hide in your cave. But you're always in control of the way you think. Always. There's a quote that makes me feel empowered every time I read it or think about it. I think it's credited to a writer named Jake Remington. Anyway, the quote is this: "Fate whispers to the warrior, you can't withstand the storm. The warrior whispers back, I am the storm." Ooh, I love that quote so much. I've been so busy lately with design projects, which I'm loving, but I've been out and about hunting and gathering for my clients, and I have really been seeing the effects that the government's response to COVID has had on people. I mean, stores closing, trouble getting product, trouble getting workers, having to deal with all these new regulations. I mean, I could go on, and I know you know. It's easy to feel beat down. But you know what? You can't kill the human spirit. I look around and I see people just like you and me doing the best they can. Some are super busy and some are barely hanging on. And yet here we are, warriors, not only withstanding the storm, but standing so strong that we're a force to be reckoned with. We each have a warrior in us, and they're powerful beyond words. But warriors are made. They don't just happen. And I started my day yesterday with a really empowering podcast. I had a wonderful meditation, and I journaled about all the things in my life that I was grateful for. And then I got that text, that video from my sister. But I was in the right frame of mind to appreciate what I could about it because of my morning routine and not dwell on the aspects that wouldn't serve me. And that's exactly what I did. But in order to do that, you have to be able to listen to your inner guidance system, letting me know that it's okay. It's more than okay. I'm a warrior, and warriors aren't afraid of a text. They aren't afraid to stand up for what they know is right. Warriors don't cave to pressure, and they certainly don't lose themselves to comply with what someone else thinks, especially when they know it's not right for them. Warriors stay true to their inner guidance system. But you can't even hear your inner guidance system if you're constantly giving your precious attention to negative outside influences. Guys, the less we pay attention to the noise going on outside of us, and the more we pay attention to becoming aware of the noise in our own head and how it affects us, the better our life is going to get. Now, warriors also know when to retreat to start again for another day, when they're regrouping. I woke up in the middle of the night the other night. You know what that means? Like, why does everything seem worse at 2 a.m.? I think I know why. It's because you're alone with your thoughts, and that's when you get to notice how scary they are. There's not the noise and distraction you have during the middle of the day. But guess what? Those thoughts are still there during the day. They're still making you anxious. You're just not as aware of them. So it's 2 a.m. and I know the way my thoughts can run at night, so I turn on a sleep story off the Calm app. I don't know if I've talked about it before, but it's the best $80 per year I've ever spent because it calms me. And I barely even remember the story start. You see, warriors also need their sleep. So staying up all night worrying, that makes you less able to make really good decisions the next day. So if you're having a bad day or you're not feeling your best, take a nap. At the very least, don't make big decisions or have big conversations when your mind is getting the best of you and it's not in a good place. It's okay to remove yourself. That's still being a warrior because you're making smart decisions for you and those around you too. And sometimes you have phases where the warrior in you feels like it's dormant, or maybe it feels lost. And those are the times you just have to remember who you really are, like what you're really doing here. When you're passionate about something, that warrior comes alive. You know it because you felt it before, even for just a moment. But then maybe your primitive brain tells you, no, just chill, just relax. It's safer in our cave. And you let the warrior go dormant again because it's easier than combating those thoughts of worthlessness, fear, and feeling like there's no hope. But if you can just feel uncomfortable for 1 minute and get on the other side of that fear, that's feeding your warrior. That's how the warrior gets stronger, by getting a little more comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. I decided this week I was going to do something out of my comfort zone, so I joined a local Toastmasters group where you become comfortable speaking in front of people. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable for me at first, but my inner warrior is craving a challenge. And the key to being a warrior is knowing you are one, and you are. I promise you that, and so am I. My challenge to you this week is to figure out what your inner warrior is craving and do one thing that feels a little out of your comfort zone towards that goal. There's no storm that's going to take us down, and if it does, let it be temporary. Gather yourself and get right back up. That's what a warrior does. And before I sign off, there may be someone that could use a reminder that they're a warrior. Most of us could on any given day. So share this episode with 1 or 2 people that you think would love it. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.